Howdy, howdy, howdy. How's it going? Welcome back. If you're watching this at some other time, because nobody else is here except me, but I'm playing solo, so that's okay. Hopefully, you're watching this later on YouTube. But if you are watching it on YouTube, know that I live stream this on Twitch. So you could come and hang out and actually kibitz with me and chat and play along. I don't know exactly. I mean, I've done that before, but it could radically change the nature of the story if there's input from chat. So, yeah, consider hanging out. Right now, my plan is to be doing this every Thursday from 4:20 to 6:66, which is 7:06 Pacific time. I mean, excuse me, Central time, not Pacific. Wow, I just went back a few years. Yeah. Anyhow, so Central Time, it's on my schedule on Twitch. Just look for Rigaroga. That's me, pretty much everywhere. Um, I don't think anybody's kibitzing on my name yet anywhere. I probably just didn't. Anyhow, hi. How's it going? Let's take a look at Ironsworn Starforged again. Last session, we completed doing sector development, and we created a connection. We created a sector, a settlement, a connection, our inciting incident, and then actually went through our first adventure. And so, check that out. I'm gonna sort of pick up where I left off, and I think today I'm kind of going to do a little bit of sort of post play prep, and then I want to take a look at the oracles section, which is the last section in the preview edition of Starforged. And there's a little exercise there that I want to actually try and see what happens. And then I don't know if there's going to be time, but we might do another, some sort of little bit of session. But I wanted to do a little bit of fleshing out some of the lore or, decisions that were made during last session. So first off, before we get into that, actually, let's take a look since this is the last week, or this is the last session where the Kickstarter is actually still running. So let's actually go quickly and take a look at the Kickstarter. As it stands right now, it has passed, there's 6 days left to go. So it'll end just before my next tabletop session, assuming I'm doing Starforged then. But either way, it'll be over. And it just passed 5,000, well, 5,100, almost 5,200 backers. And the current pledged amount total is 270,000. Now, in between the sessions, the two final goal, only two, final super strong hit goals were announced. One of them has been reached, and that is the 5,000 backers. And then and that's a huge upgrade to all of the materials and production quality of the deluxe kits. So the cards and the book, and there's going to be a ribbon in the book. It's going to have in paper. All of the paper stock is going to be improved, and the assets are going to have a surface laminate that will make it so that you can use dry erase markers on them, and so you can check off the little boxes on the asset cards and stuff. So a whole bunch of upgrades are reached. There's one last goal, and that is if the Kickstarter can reach 300,000 in 6 days, there's going to be a whole extra supplement called what the heck is it called again? Hold on. That's the preview edition. So when you back this, all the backers get immediate access to the preview edition. But there's Sundered Isles. This is it. This is the one. So this is going to be a $300,000 stretch goal, and it's set a course for the Sundered Isles, and it's a developing a supplement that'll undertake a campaign of fantasy seafaring adventure. Now, what's cool is this is kind of a modification of the assets for Starforged. So you could actually do your Spelljammer or your animated Treasure Island, whatever that was. What was that called? Um, for not Forbidden Worlds. Anyhow, what it was, sort of piratey in space kind of stuff, and so you can add these assets. You can treat them as like ocean faring, seafaring adventures, but you could also add those assets into Starforged to add even more piratey kind of ship nautical kind of stuff, which is super cool. But it'll be a print and play and slightly modified truths or moves, custom truths, new oracles, new foes and encounters, and all sorts of really cool stuff. And this was actually something that was on the roadmap like 2 or 3 years ago or something like that when Ironforged first came out. It was on the roadmap of what was going to be developed. And of course, the world blew up and all sorts of interesting stuff happened, and Starforged became huge. But so that's the last goal. It's going to be hard. I don't know. It'd be really awesome for that to happen. But I don't know if it's going to make it. Anyhow, it's close. It's the very final goal. I wish I could upgrade my pledge. We'll see. I don't know. In 6 days, I don't think I still don't think I'll have the extra cash for it. But I might be able to do it afterwards. I don't know. We'll see. Anyhow, so I just wanted to show you that. That's the progress. Pretty amazing amount of support for this sort of this indie niche game. I'd call it a solo game, but it's kind of awesome in that it shows that guided play and solo play is actually not just an afterthought, but it's an actual real mode of play. And it's one of the first things that I think really shows that, because there are a lot of other systems that you can tack on solo play to, or that have solo play that's more like choose your own adventure kind of stuff, where you have a programmed adventure. Like a lot of the old Tunnel and Troll stuff was like that. Anyhow, so it's a really awesome thing to see that this is kind of being developed, and secretly, it's also super awesome to play this and realize that Shawn and Matt Click are working on the solo for the One Ring as well. So, I mean, there's that to look forward to. That'll be really interesting to see, maybe there's some stuff that can happen, some cross-pollination. Yeah, anyhow. So I wanted to show you that. And that's the status. That's going to be the last status before the last status I can give where it'll actually have an effect in the outcome. I suppose late backers, you could, after the next session, you could join as a late backer once the pledge manager is open, but you can actually affect the goal, and we can get close to that Sundered Isles thing, which would be really cool. So anyhow, I just wanted to share that, yeah, let's dive in. I want to do the first thing I want to do is I want to take a look. I've got my little hipster PDA here with all of my cards, and I just wanted to talk really quickly about the character Astrid. Now, one of the things that I did is that's not what I wanted. I don't want Hex Kit. I want the character portraits. Now, this is I am using some character portraits by Ashen Victor on itch.io. You can search for it. I'll put a link in the description when this goes to YouTube. But you can search for Ashen Victor or Sci-Fi character portraits on itch, and you'll get a set of 100 portraits that this creator developed for essentially for Mothership. But I went through and I kind of selected a portrait that I felt closely matched my conception of Astrid as I could. And I wanted to talk about, I had mentioned that Astrid for me was kind of a Dr. Aphra kind of character. And by that, what I mean is this sort of like there's maybe a little bit of mystery on what's going on with her, but she's really kind of into sort of xenoarchaeology and finding artifacts and stuff. I don't really feel like she's the evil Indiana Jones that Dr. Aphra is, but Dr. Aphra's pretty cool. So I kind of have that in mind. I also have in mind as a character influence is Nausicaa from Valley of the Wind, from Hayao Miyazaki's anime, well, manga and then anime. And by that, what I mean is, if you watch that movie, one of the things that really is present for me is that the character Nausicaa doesn't default to combat. So, in solo adventures, a lot of times it becomes, especially when I played D&D solo, it was almost constantly combat. Combat this, combat that. Now, if you look back at the session, the very first adventure, what I tried to keep in mind for myself was that I didn't want it to be just combat. I wanted it to be more sort of figuring it out and kind of discovering things and, all that kind of stuff going on. And so with the influence of Nausicaa, what I'm imagining really is that this is a person like Nausicaa who approaches things in a way that is trying to communicate and understand. Like the way that Nausicaa deals with the Omu is not to feel, even when they're enraged, is to not see them as enemies, but as something that needs to be understood and to be communicated with. But at the same time, when she's up against it, she gets wild and almost feral. Like there's that scene where she's on a sort of back against the wall and she gets the sword out and just goes crazy and is able kind of to hold her own. I don't think my character can do that very well, but you never know. And then that sort of wildness, I feel like another Miyazaki influence for my thinking of this is Princess Mononoke. And the reason why I say that is because there's also Princess Mononoke's relationship with, the mysteries of the world, and being closer to the mysteries of the world than the other people are, but also being kind of feral. And I was thinking about the fact that this character, basically what had started off with is that they had come back from college or something like that and found that their family had disappeared. Their entire settlement had disappeared. I mean, the settlement was still there, but all the people disappeared, and it's a mystery that is unsolved. But then what happens is that, um, she gets on a ship and flies off and sort of like has no bounds on behavior, and so she's kind of like like everything is a mess, and uh, there's posters all over the place, and I mean she's kind of feral, kind of like Newt in Aliens before meeting up with the other people. Like there's been this period where she's gone feral in a way, and I think that that's what she's trying to come out from when she got in touch with Mole, the contact. Anyhow, so that's part of my thinking, and then I really like this image. To me, this portrait really captures this kind of techie, um, uh, sort of this level of expertise that this character has with figuring stuff out, and exploring and being technical, and getting into machines and computers and figuring all that sort of stuff. And for me, when I was trying to think of a sort of a exemplar of that, what it came into mind was Veronica Mars, right? So there's these mysteries, these things that need to be figured out, and she's helping her father, the private investigator, but she's got more expertise in a lot of little technical things than he does, and so she ends up doing a lot of the the camera work and the computer work and all that sort of stuff. And while there's not that kind of relationship for Astrid, I think that there is that kind of level of expertise beyond her years with the various things that she's gotten. I mean, so I think she was really good at the stuff that she was doing in school. Anyhow, so I looked through the portraits and kind of wanted to find a character portrait that really fits. So this I think is going to be Astrid. And I went ahead and I created a little miniature version of that with the name and stats, so that I'll start keeping that in the corner. I'm going to have to turn it on for every scene now. But I wanted to show that. Now, the other thing that I want to do is I want to talk about Maeve. Maeve is the contact that we had, the xeno archaeologist. And I wanted to... Oh, I didn't actually want to close that. Okay. Why won't that minimize? Okay. Let's see. Where am I doing this? Okay, so this is... so let's see, 38. So we're going to take a first look at some of the character portraits that I and this is kind of an example of the both an example of the portraits that are available in the pack from Ashen Victor, but also the kind of thought process that I went through in selecting which images to use. I'm going to highlight a few of them, and like for example, this one is I think a little bit too goofy maybe for Mole. Mole's more that that serious mentor kind of contact. Let's see. I looked at this one, which I thought was maybe a little bit too unnatural, like kind of Borg-like, which didn't fit in with the background that was rolled up for the character. There was this one, which felt a little bit too military because, the collar and everything. I felt like this contact isn't military at all. And let's see, 18. This was an interesting one, but I felt that this one was not flashy enough. Flashy was one of the characteristics that we rolled. The little circle design on a bunch of the portrait faces really spoke to me of this person being a member of that cult, that sort of the vegan vegetarian cult. But this one didn't really feel quite flashy enough for me. Um, Now I did have this one, which I think is probably the one I'm going to use. So this one, I think is flashy and large, and fills the room, and I think that this would be a really good mentor for Astrid, especially considering the background was kind of really dark, and having a contact that was really boisterous and sort of Borderlands 2-ish kind of felt good to me, as a sort of a balancing. There were a few more. I looked at 34. I looked at this one. This one felt a little bit too stark, a little bit too. I mean, it felt. I liked it because it reminded me of the still suits from Dune, and this is a desert planet. The Utopia group is heading to Mirage, which is that desert planet. So that felt cool, but it didn't quite feel perfect. And there was one other one that I looked at. This one felt a little bit too mean. Like I said, I was trying to balance the backstory, a little bit too serious. So I think let's go back and let's go with this character, this character portrait. So let's see. I want to go ahead and... So we're going to beam in a picture. Whenever we're maybe in communication or we're in the presence of Maeve, this is going to be the portrait that we'll use. And I don't really have any stats for them since they're an NPC, but that I think is going to be our contact. So I wanted to flesh out that character that we created, that contact that we created with an image that sort of fit everything that had been rolled together. And I kind of was looking through the portraits and seeing like sort of an inspiration for some other stuff. I feel like there are some contacts who are like old school buddies. Like maybe we're gonna do some social media gossipy connections and stuff long distance with some of the friends of that had been part of Astrid's circle in college, and maybe we'll meet up with them later. But so I have a list of a few people that I wanted to, or portraits that I thought fit that kind of feeling. And the last thing I feel like I have to say is I wanted to talk about the ship. I didn't really do any description of the ship, and I'm kind of feeling like it's like an Eagle from Space 1999, because it's modular. It's got the modular middle, but it's kind of got that sort of off-road strut kind of structure around the top and stuff that the module hooks to. And I'm kind of imagining that it's like an Eagle, or there's another ship from that series called the Hawk that's a little bit more extended, and maybe that might fit a little bit better. Something in between the two, and I feel like there's like cargo racks all along the top of it with all kinds of stuff that has been accumulated, and maybe Astrid, before leaving her original settlement, had grabbed a bunch of whatever she could find that might be useful and sort of stacked it all together. Her kits for exploring and her technician kit and like all that kind of stuff. So maybe there's a storage unit for each of her paths, and then personal mementos and things like that. So and I really like the look of the Eagle, but I kind of feel like the front end is more of a like a more vertical kind of Girard or Mebus kind of looking front end. I don't know. I don't have an image selected, but that's kind of, and also like the glowing red eyes from the bus, the moon bus from 2001. I really feel like that's a feeling like I want it to be lit up from the inside. Yeah, anyhow, so that's some of the thinking that I had done on the ship. I don't have an image for that yet, but that's what I've been thinking. Let's go really quickly over to let's switch to Hex Kit really quick. And so this was the sector map that we'd created. I kind of wanted to take a second and actually make a new map for Mirage. So let's do that really quickly. And I'm going to be using, I think I'm going to be using some, so this is Hex Kit, Cecil Howe's tool. And previously I was using Spaceland. I think I'm going to use Nat Treme's Cartography kit. And I'll put a link in the description when this goes to YouTube. But let's go ahead and let's put some sand in here because it's a desert. And I don't have a lot to show yet, but let's put in Cyber Rock as oh shoot, actually hold on. Let's make a locations layer. Now let's put that in there. Okay, so that's the precursor vault. And I mean, that's sort of all we know so far about Mirage. But I wanted to have a, let's see, is there a mist? I want kind of a mist. Into the bronze? Is there... No. How about classic? Classic is kind of dark. I don't know if I want to do that. What about Fantasyland? Ice Hill, Salts, Wasteland, Arctic, Blank. What about traveling danger? Oh, here's some fog. So let's do I wanted to do a little bit of fog, just right next to the precursor vault where there had been that mist. What would it look like if I put... Oops. Oh, that didn't work. Except that I repaired that, didn't I? Yeah, so maybe that's it. Maybe that's all I have left. I mean, that's all I really know about Mirage so far. Yeah, so maybe we'll go with that. But this will be our map for Mirage, which, you know, we may find additional stuff. The Utopia group may, since they're in orbit, they may move in and you know, sort of start building a settlement of some kind. now that it's safe, or they might start exploring stuff, and I might find some stuff. But so there's the beginning of Mirage. So let's go ahead and actually save that. As Mirage, and yeah, so there we go. All right, so let's see. We did that. Shall we now move to taking a look at some of the Oracle stuff? Yeah, let's start taking a look at oracles now. So let me get this out of the way, and then we'll go to our PDFs, and there we go. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. So let's scroll down to oracles. Can I click on it? There we go. So chapter 3. The previous was the next steps as far as like moving on to other adventures and stuff like that. But before I leapt into the next adventure, I wanted to explore what the oracles looked like. And of course there's going to be this awesome imagery. This little floater drone is pretty cool. It reminds me of the Sentinels from Discovery. Destiny 2, I mean, not Discovery. So let's take a look at what the oracles are. Ooh, that's a cool image. That's on the cover of the reference manual. That's a cool precursor thing. So using the oracles, in Starforged, an oracle is anything that generates random results to help determine the outcome of an action, an aspect of your setting, or a narrative event. You can use your preferred prompts while playing the game, or use a wide array of oracles provided in this chapter. The oracles on the following pages are in the form of random tables and are customized to the tone, setting, and gameplay of Starforged. Some oracles are for specific, mundane questions to streamline play. What is the engineer's name? Others provide more abstract results, which you interpret based on the current situation. What goes wrong? Perhaps most importantly, there are a variety of oracles in this chapter to help envision what you discover as you navigate and explore the Forge. These range from identifying the nature of a star to generating the forsaken interior of a derelict starship. Oracles in solo and co-op play. If you are playing without a guide, you can ask the oracle and use the tables and generators in this chapter to help reveal details and resolve actions during play. Keep in mind that Starforged oracles don't function as a scripted emulator to replace a GM or a guide. Instead, they use the power of your creative interpretation to help you fill that role. Ask your question, roll on a table, and consider the answer in the context of your current situation and story. What comes to mind first? Did you think of something which reinforces your dramatic narrative or takes things in an uninteresting and surprising direction? Does it feel right? If so, make it happen. If you follow your instincts while staying open to twists and turns, you will find your game offering many of the same narrative rewards as if you were playing with a guide. In fact, you'll be surprised how often a seemingly random result seems to feed. I wouldn't have used seem twice there, even though they're co-located a little too close. Anyhow, to feed directly to your character's story and the world you've established through play. This is the power of creative interpretation at work. Oracles in guided play. Guides can use oracles for support during play and to supplement their narrative decision making. Mundane oracles, such as a character name, page 171, are helpful to quickly flesh out details. Interpretive oracles, such as the action and theme tables, pages 134 to 135, can be used to spark new ideas. You can also use oracles as a prompt for sharing control of the narrative with your players. Not sure what happens next? Don't know how to answer a player's question? Roll on an appropriate table or have your player make the roll and talk it out. So here's a summary of rolling on oracle tables. Ask your question and choose an appropriate oracle table. Roll your oracle dice to generate a number from 1 to 100. Check the 1d100 result against the table to reveal the answer. Consider the oracle's answer in the context of your question and current situation. Is the result a good fit? Does it trigger a spark of inspiration? If you've got your answer, you're all set. Envision the result and see what happens. If you want a further detail, you can talk it out with other players or roll on another table. If the answer is a bad fit for your situation, or if it prompts an interpretation that compromises a player's comfort or safety, change or adjust it. You can check up and down one row from your original result for another response. The other thing that I do a lot is I'll swap the digits. So I'll take the tens digit and swap it to the ones and check that. I do that far more often than moving up and down, just the one. And in fact, if you watch some of the previous playthroughs, I was actually doing that a couple times. If you're still having trouble, you can roll again, try a different table, or just fall back to your instincts and decide on an answer. Maybe. Note, matches, page 28, don't have any special significance when rolling on the oracle tables in this chapter. That's when the tens digit matches the ones digit. Oracle tips and tricks, peeling the onion. The oracles in this chapter often provide layers of detail through multiple tables. For example, the character generator, page 168, includes several tables to detail someone's role, look, nature, and name. It might be tempting to roll on every table at once to generate a more fully formed encounter, but that can slow down your game and work against the opportunity to gain insight through the course of your story. Do this instead. When initially encountering a place, creature, or person, use the oracle tables only for details you would perceive as first impressions. Make a roll or two, envision the result as appropriate to the situation, make some assumptions to fill in the gaps, and move on with your story. You're playing to see what happens. Think of each roll as peeling a layer of the narrative onion to reveal a new detail. Hey, Rodar, how you doing? Yeah, you haven't heard from me for a while. I have been on DSL for over 2 years. And I just, at the end of April, got 1 gigabit fiber to my house. And so I'm able to stream again. So yeah, I have not been doing anything except uploading videos to YouTube that were less than 5 minutes because it took all night. I just read nice, and so I finished my sentence using your word. Anyhow, it took all night to upload just a couple minute video, and it was just excruciating. But I did that for 2 years, and so check out my YouTube if you haven't. Follow it. I do the tabletop and role-playing stuff. I upload those as archives there, but there's also a bunch of unboxing for Kickstarters and not so much play. This last year, I have not been playing. So this really playing Starforged right now is kind of the first jump back into playing after the world blew up. But yeah, how are you? It's good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. I'm just reading through or just taking a first look through the Ironsworn preview edition, which is available from the Kickstarter that's currently running. Um, and the last session I did, the video is still up actually on Twitch, but it's also uploaded to YouTube. There's actually my first adventure is there, but there's also the world building and stuff that I've been doing. Oh, sorry to hear you're having sleep issues. I struggle with sleep issues too. I used to be a night person, and then all of a sudden, somewhere along the way, I became a morning person. But I think that part of that has to do with the cats waking me up and all the birds chirping outside my window. And I just cannot sleep past first light, basically, because everything wakes me up. And it's weird because for my entire life, I was a night person. In fact, I worked graveyard for a while, and there were a couple years of my life where I never saw the sun, basically. When the sun went down, I got up and went to work, and then when the sun came up, I was coming back home. Oh no! So like sleep apnea, you're having non-breathing issues during sleep. That's no good. Yeah. Um, I get hay fever and stuff like that, and I snore, but I don't think that I actually have had sleep apnea. I think my grandfather did, um, but yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Sleep is a good thing. I really like sleep a lot. I like sleep a little too much, I think, um, which makes it funny that I don't sleep as much as I used to. But sleep is a good thing. So I hope that gets better. Uh, you're in Europe, right? So you've got medical support. Are you getting your needs met as far as that goes? Yeah, yeah. Sleep means you can't play. That's true. That is very true. And in fact, I have been known to push my reasonable sleep hours out of the way in order to get a little bit more done. But yeah, no, I hear that. I hear that. Still, I kind of like sleep. Sleep is cool. Um, yeah. So I hope you hang out while I take a look at this Oracle stuff. This is the last chapter in the preview kit, preview edition, and there's like an exercise at the end that I'm gonna do to create sort of a little an Oracle array, which may or may not I'm gonna try to use in my next adventure and see how it goes. 21 games in a week? Wow. Yeah, I would start to lose it. I would start to lose it, and I would not remember what game I was playing. Like they would start to bleed into each other. There was a period in college where I was dating a whole bunch of people, and I started to like forget who was who. Um, and that happened like at around five. So I think the most I could do would be 5 games. Probably less than 5 games in a week, or I would just completely lose it. I would not know which game I was playing anymore. Plus, trying to like if I was using different systems, that would be really hard. Like if it were the same system, it might work out okay because then I could remind myself um, of the character and stuff like that, and then dive into it without worrying about having to rethink the mechanics and stuff. Um, yeah, yeah. Well, playing games is part of uh, playing games is a little bit like an extension of dreaming. I mean, it's guided meditation. It's vision, uh, sort of divination. Like we're even talking about oracles today. Um, so yeah, there's it's a really interesting. I might even call it a liminal space where you create an imaginary but real life. and you fill in all those details, and then you sort of explore it in a creative and sort of envisioning way. So yeah, it's kind of like astral projection, or lucid dreaming, like it's wakeful lucid dreaming, is what it, and yes, and as you're playing, you kind of just let things happen. And then, of course, like this system with the oracles, like you roll on an oracle and then you interpret it, just like, using like tarot cards, or casting runes or something like that, and then you interpret the results. So there's a lot of interesting imaginal liminal space work going on when one is playing these kinds of games, especially role-playing games. Yeah. So anyhow, if you don't mind, let's. I hope you'll hang out and kibitz in if you hear me talk about something that sparks something interesting. Let's talk about it more. But I want to get to the array and roll that, and sort of see what happens, and see if that sparks some follow-up adventures. So we were talking about peeling the onion with the oracles. So doing, like, in solo play or guided play, you use an oracle and then roll only a couple of answers, and then allow the development of the narrative to guide what happens next and fill in, instead of rolling everything all at once. So here's an example, as you think of each roll as peeling the layer of a narrative onion. So the example is, you encounter another character while exploring a remote planet. To set the stage for this encounter, you use the character generator and roll on the first look table. The result tells you that this person is wounded and ill-equipped. You envision someone who was clearly not prepared for an expedition on this perilous planet and was gravely wounded following an encounter with a native creature. Next, you roll on the disposition table to help envision their initial reaction, and the oracle responds suspicious. Oh, that's juicy. That's definitely a juicy answer. And you could definitely start playing with that. Over time, you can build on the initial knowledge and ask the oracle to reveal additional aspects. You manage to gain the trust of this unlucky fellow explorer and patch them up enough to get them back on their feet for a journey back to your ship. Through the course of your interaction, you envision asking questions to learn more about them and their predicament. You roll on the name, role, and goal tables, taking those responses and expanding on them with interpretation. You conclude that this person is a smuggler, abandoned here and left for dead by double-crossing crewmates. Oh, that, of course they were. If you end up on a prolonged adventure with this character, you might roll periodically on the revealed aspects table to learn more about their personality, quirks, and abilities. Revealed aspects is, I think, new. I don't think that was part of Ironsworn. So that's a really interesting thing. It reminds me of like Mass Effect, which just got a special edition out. Like, you come back to a character and ask that character more questions, and they reveal more of their story. So it's definitely kind of that mechanic. The oracles often include labels that help guide these staggered reveals. For example, planetary aspects are divided into separate tables for observed from space and planet-side feature. With some experience, you'll develop your own preferences for how and when to reveal new details. Inspiration and randomness. The oracle tables can generate random results, but you're free to just scan a table and pick an option which is a good fit. I rarely do that. I tend to like it to surprise me, and to let it sort of throw me off into some other direction. This is particularly true when building on established facts and a result is already known to be true. For example, if you're on a planet and encounter a settlement, you don't need to roll for a location on the settlement generator. You already know it is planet-side. Well, that's fair. However, keep in mind that the generators, particularly for encounters and locations, are often structured to include a mix of common and rare answers. For example, coming upon a vital world on a spaceborne expedition is an unlikely and wondrous discovery. Consider these assumptions when choosing or interpreting oracle results. So yeah, you don't just sort of pick the ultra rare, exotic thing just off the bat. Results by region. Okay, so location oracles are often structured with results organized by the main regions of the forge. And the forge is the globular cluster that these adventures take place in. And then there's regions of it. I don't know if you've encountered or checked out Ironsworn, but Ironsworn had that sort of continent map, and there were separate regions, and each region had its own character. It's kind of like that, but in 3D space. So there's the terminus, which is the central, the outlands, which are sort of the frontier, and then the expanse is like sort of beyond the pale. There be monsters here. And you check the result for your current location. If you're playing in another setting, you can think of these regions as translating to settled, frontier, and uncharted. Well, there you go. That explains it pretty clearly. Building oracle arrays. This is the thing that I'm actually excited to do this session, is building an oracle array. And the wide variety of oracles in this chapter provide a toolkit that you can use and combine as you like. You'll often have options of which table to roll on for a specific location or situation. Once you've gained some experience using the oracles, check out page 212 for advice on building oracle arrays that are tuned to your preferences. Common symbols, multiple results. Some oracles provide a recommended range of results. This is shown as a looping arrow with a suggested number of rolls. For example, a looped arrow 1 to 2. Depending on the situation, you might make multiple rolls at once or make them over time to peel the onion and reveal new aspects. All the other tables are assumed to default to a single roll, but some oracles include an embedded result that prompts you to make multiple rolls. This is typically shown as roll twice. If you get this result, roll twice more on the table and combine those results. If you get roll twice yet again, ignore it and redo that roll. So you don't explode rolling twice. Link to other tables. Oracle answers will often prompt you to jump to another oracle. This is shown as an arrow symbol with the names of the oracle. For example, arrow starship. If you see this prompt, that's your cue to go to that section or table to reveal more about the encounter. Core oracles. The following pages include a set of 4 core oracles that are central to Starforged. They are action, theme, descriptor, and focus. Each includes 100 single-word results as abstract prompts. You can roll on these tables individually or combine them with results from other oracles. In most cases, you'll roll on a set of 2 oracles, action and theme, or descriptor and focus, to form a simple sentence out of a word pair. Then interpret the result based on the context of the question and your current situation. If a roll doesn't fit, check adjacent rows or roll again. The core oracles provide creative prompts suitable for many situations. In fact, for a lightweight approach, it's possible to ignore the other oracles and focus on answering questions using only the Ask the Oracle move and these 4 tables. Action and theme, pages 134 to 136, use these oracle tables to reveal details about a goal, situation, or event. They provide a word or phrase that can be taken literally or interpreted as an abstraction. Action and theme can answer questions such as, what does this character want? What is this faction's mission? What caused the downfall of this settlement? What is this device's purpose? Descriptor and focus, pages 136 to 137, use these oracles to generate the details of a location, discovery, or encounter. The descriptor oracle is particularly handy for quick generation of a location. For example, use it to describe the basic nature of a planet instead of rolling on the detailed planet oracles. Descriptor and focus can answer questions such as, what is this ship's cargo? What is the nature of this planet? What is inside the station? What hazard do I encounter? So here's action table. All sorts of fun stuff. Abandon, acquire, follow, control, locate. So all sort of verby, actiony things. When you ask the Oracle about a goal, situation, or event, roll for an action. It actually, it says about an goal, and it should be about a goal. So action above and theme opposite page. Together, these provide an interpretive verb-noun prompt. So let's take a look at the nouns. So the themes: ability, burden, innocence, strategy, price, enemy, reputation, wealth, all sorts of stuff. Other oracles include prompts to check for an action and theme, shown as action plus theme. That's your cue to roll on these tables and interpret the results as appropriate to the situation. And now the next set are descriptor. So the descriptor: abandoned, archaic, foul, ruined, makeshift, diverse, empty, perilous. When you ask the Oracle to help define the nature of a location, discovery, or encounter, roll for a descriptor in this one. You may also roll for the focus, opposite page, and to generate a verb-noun prompt. It does not generate a verb-noun prompt. It generates an adjective and a noun. So that's a typo, a pasto from the previous hint thing. So focus: AI, alarm, anomaly, apparition, mechanism, message, trap, treasure, salvage, sector. Other oracles will include prompts to check for a descriptor and focus, shown as descriptor plus focus. That's your cue to roll on these tables and interpret the result as appropriate to the situation. Space encounters. So here's the thing split out by location, terminus, outlands, expanse, and then examples of results that lead to other tables. Use the Space Sightings Oracle to introduce a location or encounter on a spaceborne expedition. For example, roll on this table when you ask the Oracle to envision the primary feature of a waypoint as you undertake an expedition. Check your result by referencing the column for your current location, terminus, outlands, or expanse. So summary: exploring space. The Space Sightings table on the previous page is your nexus for envisioning the vistas and encounters of your spaceborne journeys. This is particularly useful for revealing what is in range when you reach an anchorage on page 60. So travel in this travels on sort of like Stargate pathways it's basically a point crawl. So you basically have a route that goes from one point on the crawl to the next point on the crawl, and then each point on the crawl has things that are near and far, and then everything else is like out of range. So you basically have a hex with surrounding hexes as a point crawl, and then routes between those. It's kind of cool. Let's see. So at each of the anchorages on an interstellar expedition, and you can also use it to identify the destination or focus of a spaceborne quest. Since space is incomprehensibly vast and empty, don't feel obligated to use the Space Sightings Oracle for every waypoint on an interstellar journey. Instead, you may simply assume that there is nothing of note, and move on. Roll for a sighting only when you are inspired to inject uncertainty, danger, strangeness, or narrative potential into your story. That really plays into the idea that you really only ever roll if there's a chance for failure. So you would only need to roll an oracle if there's a chance for something surprising or uncertain to happen. So basically, if you know everything is going to go according to plan, you skip over any sort of intervening roll. Let's see. Roll for a sighting only when you're... Oh, I just read that. Some of these results will be mundane, but others will lead to new wonders or hazards. Other oracles in this section include, if you are introducing a sector of space into your story, use the sector name oracle to give it a random name. Use the stellar object oracle to learn more about the primary star at a location. This is mostly to help you visualize your surroundings, but the strange or hazardous nature of some rare stars can incite new adventures. The Spaceborne Peril and Spaceborne Opportunity oracles can help identify the nature of a deep space event. Like in my first adventure, there was a rumor, and I, in trying to travel, I got a bad miss that sort of ran me into it, and so I had that whole encounter before reaching the first step on my what I thought was going to be my adventure. So I had something just sort of pop up and happen. Pretty cool. To learn more about travel and exploration with the Forge, go back to page 60. Reminder: as a result with an arrow symbol indicates you can jump to another oracle to reveal more detail. And I think Delve had that in a couple places as well. Where, well, it would change. Delve would also change the site. Like it would go from one type of site to another type as it if you rolled a particular result, it would transition and change. That was pretty cool. So here are the sector names, and the sector name that I first got, Rodar. This is actually that's the wrong map. That's my planet Mirage, which is a desert planet with 2 suns, and then there's the precursor vault that's in the middle of it, and then this is my starting sector. Delphi Chasm, and it's got 3 locations, 3 stars. There's the twin stars, and an orbital station around it. There's another star with a deep. This is the one with the wrench is the deep space sort of engineering mechanical location, and I don't have a direct route to it yet. And then down the blue star is an orbital location that is I think science and exploration, but the main one is where I have that circle with the star. That's Mirage, which is the desert planet with the 2 stars, and that's where I'm currently at. To generate a name for a sector, and the one I got was Delphi Chasm when I rolled on it for the place where I'm at. Roll once for the prefix or the first word, and once for the suffix, the second word, or just roll once and choose a suitable prefix and suffix from anywhere in that row. And then these are the different stellar objects that you can roll. So there's smoldering red star, orange star, burning, blazing, a young star, white dwarf, corrupted star, neutron star, 2 stars in close orbit, which is what I got for Mirage, artificial star constructed by a long dead civilization, and then the 100 is unstable star showing signs of impending supernova. Kaboom! And Spaceborne Peril, all kinds of stuff. Imperiled ship calls for help, old repair or patch fails, someone questions your presence here, troubling visions or apparitions. Cool. Choose or roll on this table when you want inspiration for a trouble during spaceborne exploration or on an interstellar expedition. Spaceborne opportunities. Examples are cache of cargo or supplies, friendly settlement in range, navigational or environmental hazard is left behind, sensors pinpoint a lurking foe. Choose a roll on this table when you want inspiration for a beneficial encounter or event on a spaceborne journey, just as when you roll a strong hit with a match as you undertake an expedition, or if you explore a waypoint to find an opportunity. And here are planet types. So I only had one planet in my sector, and that was Desert World, which was the first one. But there's Furnace, Grave, Ice, Jovian, so gas giant, Jungle, Rocky, Ocean, Shattered, Tainted, and then the 99 and 100 is Vital, sort of super Earth-like. So the summary of exploring planets. The chart on the previous page provides a simple method of generating a planetary class. If this is enough information, stop there and envision the world as appropriate to its type. For a bit more detail, make a roll on the descriptor oracle and envision how that aspect defines the nature of the planet or a specific planet-side location. Detailed planet generation. Using the planet dashboards on the following pages, you can generate details for the features of a planet if that place has a focus in your story. Start with the tables that describe features you detect at a distance, such as atmosphere, settlements, and observed from space. Then, if you investigate the planet, roll on the planet-side feature and life tables to uncover more about the nature of that place. It reminds me of No Man's Sky, where you scan a planet, but it's not mapped. Like, you don't actually know what the surface is like. You just have an indication of what is on the planet in general. If you have advanced, it should be advanced. If you have no, that's right. Sorry. If you have advanced information on the planet, you'll have a more complete picture before you travel there. In that case, roll to determine its nature as you like. If you are the guide, you can assemble the characteristics of a planet as needed. Planet atmospheres. The atmosphere table includes the following possible results. None, thin, the planet is airless or its atmosphere is so thin as to be useless for humans. Toxic, the planet's atmosphere is not compatible with human life. Exploring this place will require a sealed environment or breathing apparatus, otherwise survival is measured in minutes. Corrosive. This planet's atmosphere is deadly to humans. As a bonus, it can damage exposed skin, materials, plastics, and metal over time. That's a bonus? I think they need to look up what bonus means. Marginal. It's unhealthy to breathe this planet's atmosphere for more than a few hours at a time. And I think Mirage had marginal. So I didn't really think that one through. Mirage is a desert planet with marginal atmosphere. And then from space it was vibrant terrain colors. Oh, when I did this the sand map, I didn't really do vibrant colors, did I? And dry seabeds. So I should probably draw a dry seabed on there. And it has the features. There's a planet-side precursor vault and time-worn cliffside caves. Oh, yeah. I should have looked at this again and reminded myself. So I'll have to put those details on the map. Let's see. And then breathable. The atmosphere is not perfect, but it's good enough to sustain human life. Ideal. This planet's atmosphere is ideally suited to human life. Envisioning planet-side expeditions. Planets are big. Big, big, big. These oracles help set the stage, but won't provide the moment-to-moment details of a surface expedition. Instead, use the established nature of a planet as a springboard for envisioning terrain and encounters. Save the planetside features table for key aspects. Roll on the descriptor and focus oracles for additional variety. Use the planetside peril and planetside opportunity oracles to help envision the nature of unexpected events. So here's the desert world, which is the specific world type, planet type oracle that I rolled on for Mirage. A pitiless planet of searing heat, blowing sand, and sun-baked rock. And I got atmosphere, and I got orbital settlement, and observed from space I got the dry seabeds and a precursor vault. It's interesting because it says a precursor vault orbital. But I also got a precursor vault planet side. Now I didn't put together the orbital one, so maybe I need to roll. I need to roll on that as well, because there was a planet side precursor vault. So there's 2 vaults here to explore, and so I should probably put that on my map. Let's see. How do I want to do that? So I should put a precursor vault here. Oh my gosh. I can't find the controls. Where are the controls? Here we go. Okay, so let's go locations and or actually highlights. Let's go to the highlights table. And let's take a look at Spaceland. Hi, Rush. And then beacons. Are there any interesting beacons? No. Well, I should roll on the precursor to figure out what it is that's in space. Is there a question mark? There's a signal or a thing. Here, let's put this. We'll put this on here. Is it gonna? Oh, it's gonna get rid of that. Okay, so actually, let's add another layer. And now we'll add it. So that's my note that there's a precursor vault in space at this planet that I need to figure out. I don't like that one. There's got to be a better one. Oh, ooh, what's this? That's an interesting one. Let's use that one. I like that one. What do you think? It's sort of a weird crystal-y thing. Anyhow, we'll figure out what that precursor vault is. Yeah, and then okay, so then and then one of the example names was Mirage, so I took that, and I didn't roll on planet-side life or life on the planet yet. I only went straight to the precursor vault and then went back to the orbital. So then there's furnace worlds, all kinds of stuff, grave worlds. So furnace world, a planet with relentless volcanic activity wreathed in fire and ash. An eye ringed with flame. Grave world, a once thriving world, now a grim monument to a fallen civilization. Ice worlds, a rugged frozen world locked in an unending winter. Jovian world, a massive planet with vast layers of dense gases surrounding a small rocky core. It may not have a rocky core. Jungle world, a human humid, rain-soaked planet which keeps its secrets under a thick canopy of vegetation. Ocean world, a planet completely or mostly covered by a boundless ocean. Rocky world is a world with lots of boxing. A rugged planet scarred by aeons of destructive asteroid impacts. Shattered world, a planet sundered by cataclysmic destruction. Tainted world, a foul planet racked by a poisonous climate and virulent growths. Yee. And then vital worlds. This diverse life-bearing planet might provide some small measure of hope. One planet in the whole sequence. And then there's biomes. Wait, is that? Oh, that's for vital. That's for the vital world. Planet-side perils, life-bearing and lifeless planet-side perils. So I might roll on there when I start exploring Mirage a little bit more. Planet-side opportunities. Things like, perils include things like life is revealed or takes an unexpected form, trap or alarm, wreckage or ruined portend of a new threat. And then planet-side opportunities are things like hunting or foraging opportunities are plentiful, evidence that others have passed this way, a moment of fellowship or inner peace, things like that. And then settlements. So I had 3 settlements on my sector map, and I rolled on this to figure out what size they were and where their location and their size. And I got 2 deep space ones, or 2 orbitals and 1 deep space. And then first looks and initial contact and authority. Settlement projects. So each one of the settlements I had projects that they were focused on. And then settlement trouble I did not roll on. I don't think I rolled for any of them. Check the settlement projects and settlement trouble tables when it's appropriate for your character to know or uncover these details. Projects are the main industry, function, or focus of a settlement. They do not necessarily represent every activity at the site, particularly at a large settlement, but are the most visible and noteworthy aspects. Meanwhile, the settlement trouble table provides a broad description of the site's most dramatic current issue. And then a bunch of settlement names. Choose a name appropriate to the nature of the settlement or roll for a random result. You can let the name stand alone or pair it with one of the following tags: base, citadel, depot, fortress, hold, landing, outpost, port, station, and terminal. So I might have added one of those. I might do that later. I don't think Mirage or Utopia. I don't think the planet or the outpost or the settlement has one of these yet. Yeah, so I think we're fine with that. And then starships. All kinds of carriers, corvettes, escape pods, harvesters, shuttles, snub-nosed fighters. Typical roles for each of those kinds. And fleets, battle fleet, pirate wing, transport, and escorts. And then initial contacts and first looks for those. Starship missions. Break a blockade, establish a settlement, so that you can, your captain's log at the beginning of the episode, you can roll on here to find out what you're doing. Quarantine a danger. Use the Starship mission table when prompted by another oracle, or to flesh out the nature of a ship or fleet, which has a flexible or uncertain role. You can also roll to generate the focus of a spaceborne quest. And then starship names. I totally forgot what the name of my starship is. What is... I don't know. I have it here somewhere. Or maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, I totally forgot. I'm pretty sure I rolled on here, but I don't remember what it was. And characters, first looks, and dispositions. Dispositions is super useful to help define their relationship to you. Character role, what kind of thing, what they do in the world, and what their goal is. Revealed character aspects. Roll on this table as you interact with the character to deepen your understanding of that person. You may ignore, re-roll, or adjust contradictions, or envision how these contradictions add interesting complexity to the character. Nice. And then character names, and more character names, and more character names, and then creatures. And I did roll on this because there was a rumor about a creature stalking the space lanes that I ran into. And so I ended up rolling 2 different creatures for that encounter. And this is just a really cool table. And it's got icons for each kind of creature. And then first looks and encountered behavior, revealed creature aspects. And then there's derelicts, so there's space hulks, and where those are located, and what kind of condition they're in. Outer first look, inner first look. So derelicts are the forsaken relics of human endeavors. Use these first look tables for your initial survey of the derelict. To reveal more about the look and original function or nature of the site, roll on appropriate tables in the starship or settlement oracles. If you explore the depths of a derelict, you may use the zone oracles on the following pages to help envision what you find. Cool. So, summary of exploring derelicts. Derelicts are broken into zones, much like precursors, so that's interesting. For primary areas and functions, when you envision moving from one section to another while exploring a derelict, you may choose or roll on the zone chart on the opposite page to help identify what you find. Oh, that's interesting. So precursor vaults are really structured as far as there's the outside, the inside, and then the center. And then derelicts can be like weird sort of space hulks of different kinds of bits. If you want to give your exploration of a derelict extra focus, use the zone oracles on the following pages. Each includes several tables. Area. Roll to envision the spaces you encounter in that segment of your exploration. Each zone may consist of one or more areas. As appropriate to what you envision for the overall complexity of the derelict. If you undertake an expedition, an area can serve as a waypoint in your survey of the derelict. And then feature, roll on this table when you want to reveal new aspects of your current surroundings. This is best used sparingly, a bit of occasional extra detail or ambiance, rather than rolling for every segment of your exploration. And peril, roll on this table when you want help envisioning a complication or danger within a zone, such as when suffering a cost as an outcome of your exploration. Opportunity, roll on this table when you want inspiration for a beneficial encounter or event within a derelict, such as when you roll a strong hit with a match as you undertake an expedition, or if you explore a waypoint and find an opportunity. If you encounter a prompt for a new zone when rolling for an area, you are transitioning into a different section of the derelict. Oh, so that's very delve-like. And you roll or envision that zone as you like. New zone via arrow access means you should first envision the connecting path between the old zone and the new. The access oracles can help flesh this out. Surveying a prepared site. If you envision your character with a map or scan of the derelict, or the goal of your exploration is to reach a specific zone, such as the bridge on a derelict starship, You can create a simple flowchart of the layout. Make notes of the zones and the access types that connect them. Leave some blank zones to discover during play. Use this map along with roles on the zone oracles as appropriate to help envision your path through the site. Cool. And then derelict zones. Starship or a settlement. Access, community, engineering, living, medical, operations, production, research. Derelict access. Corridors and stairs and features and peril and opportunities. Derelict community. Areas, features, peril, opportunity. Engineering, control room, workshop, all sorts of stuff. Living spaces, food storage, room or showers. Medical, crematorium, prosthetics. Operations, armory, lounge, comm center. Airlock or staging, a scrapyard for production zones. Research zones, cold storage, library or records. Actually, hold on a second. Oh, okay. Sorry. I was confused because I was thinking derelict was the starship and the settlement. So it's a derelict starship or a derelict settlement, and then this is the derelict access, which is only starship but not settlement because it's there. But it could be a derelict settlement community space, or it could be a derelict spaceship community space. Right. Okay. I get that. And then precursor vaults. So this is, I think, let's take a look really quickly at this precursor vault, this orbital precursor vault, and see what we see from just observing it from space. So we know it's orbital, and let's find out the scale. So let's roll on dice focus. Here we go. So we're going to roll an oracle, and we're going to find its scale. And it's 46, so it's a typical site of limited scope. So Mirage, Orbital, Precursor. Limited, typical. Okay. And then let's take a look at what form it takes. So this is like, so I imagine we're at Utopia, the Utopia orbital settlement, and we're sort of looking at long-range scans and images that they've captured of this precursor thing. 95, incomprehensible. Yeah, so that token that I added to the map, if we look back at the map, that sort of weird, so it's non-Euclidean. Okay, so let's see what else we get. So what shape does it have? It has a geometric pyramidal shape. So wait, what was form? But it has a shape. What are some of the, so structure, vessel, monument, machine, incomprehensible. So we don't know if it's a structure, a vessel, a monument, or a machine. It's incomprehensible. We don't know it's not really a form as much as it's like it's structural purpose. So the shape is a geometric pyramid. And what material? 68. It's rocky or stone-like. which is so it's like this weird stone pyramidal shape thing hovering. And I mean, without knowing anything more, I think I'm probably going to want it to be orbiting directly above the other precursor site, which was a vast, huge site. So it's almost like a space elevator, like one end of a space elevator, maybe. So, okay, outer first look. Let's take a look. So, so this was 93. Surrounded by destruction. Ooh. And then one other. Okay, so let's roll one more. And that looks like a 21. Dispersed structures. So it's like, oh, oops. Why is my face not here? Here we go. Okay. Oh, here, and actually let me turn on Astrid for everything. Dice focus, desk only, Astrid, there you are. PDFs, Astrid, hi Astrid. And Hex Kit, Astrid is up. And then tabletop. Okay, so I've got Astrid now on all of those. Okay, so what we got was dispersed structures. So yeah, so it's a pyramidal shape, but maybe there's like chunks and things like in orbit around it. So it's got a halo of bits and bobs around it. So I wonder if I've got a pyramid thing that we can do. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything really quickly. I Here, let's take a look. I'm just clicking through to look at if I've got any pyramid things. Oh, here's one. What if we put that there? Okay, we'll use that. We'll use that for now. Let's go back to. I think. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we've got this pyramid that's hovering over this planet. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go to. Let's save that. And then open our Mirage map. And let's see if we've got. Stone, coastlines, pond, marsh, dirt. Let's, yeah, so let's put some dirt. Um, oops. No, that's right. No, base layer. Why is this not working? It's not allowing me to do this. Locations? What the hell is going on? Why is it locked? What if I go for a specific one? No. Okay, hold on. Open. Mirage. And then show the display window. And of course now it's sized wrong. Oops, wrong way. There we go. That'll do. Okay, and then let's go to dirt. So there's a dry seabed. Maybe one more up there. Okay. And then we've got vibrant colors. So I feel like let's add a vibrant color layer and then maybe move that one down there. I wonder if I can. No, I don't think I can. I was thinking maybe if I could make that layer opaque. I don't actually like that because it's got the weird. I don't like that it's got the outline. Okay, I'm gonna have to not do that yet. I might look for a different hex kit that will allow me to do the vibrant colors a little bit better. Hey cat, what are you doing? But let's go for some cliffs somewhere. Trees, cemetery, rocky terrain. Yeah, let's do rocky terrain. So we'll do actually, I don't want to do it on that layer. I want to do location or No, actually I will do that in there. Okay, so okay, that's enough for now. I'm gonna figure out how to do the vibrant colors at a later date. Oh, actually, well, here's some. Hold on a second. What does this look like? No, it zaps that. There. And let's do. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Let's do that. So that's our mirage map now, with vibrant colors and dry seabeds. We've got the precursor vault in the middle, and then time-worn cliffside caves are the rough areas over there. Okay. So what's next? Exploring precursor vaults. So the precursor, when you first come upon a vault, you can use the tables. I think I read through this when I did the precursor vault from the first session, but for more, you can envision its form and nature. For a more abstract prompt, just use a script or oracle. In either case, if that's enough detail for the role of the vault in your story, stop there. And then you can do sort of advanced detailed precursor vault generation. You want to come up? If the survey of a vault is a focus of your current quest, you can use the oracle tables in this section to generate a more complete picture of the site. See the next page for a diagram of the three main phases of exploration. There's the exterior. Start by generating the basic form and characteristics. There's the interior. I'm going quickly because I did read through this when we did our previous adventure, so the previous video. There's the interior. As you enter the site, check the inner first look table, and then you can undertake an expedition within the vault, and you can check this table if you want help setting the scene for a waypoint. Now, I didn't do the waypoints because I wasn't going to the inner sanctum. I was going to save that for a later adventure. So the sanctum, which we haven't seen yet, as you delve deeper into a vault, the corruption and strangeness of the place takes hold. Use the sanctum feature table to represent the aberrant nature of the vault's depths. Delving the sanctum. If your passage into the interior, from the interior into the sanctum, is triggered by a rolled result on the interior feature table, transition into the sanctum. If you undertake an expedition into a vault, you can use the progress track as a gauge for your current location. If you reach 6 or more filled progress boxes, you have reached the sanctum. If you envision a vault as particularly strange and perilous, use the sanctum as the framing for the entirety of your exploration. If it is relatively mundane, use only the interior. Oh, so it might not actually have a sanctum. Interesting. Okay. Revealing the vault's purpose. If the original function of the vault is a mystery, you can use the vault purpose table to see what lies at its heart. Check this oracle when your story leads to a reveal of the site's true nature, such as when you finish an expedition. And so that's, I think, what I'm going to do when I hit it next time. Perils and opportunities. Use these tables to help envision a complication or favorable circumstance within a vault, such as when you explore a waypoint and are prompted to envision a peril or opportunity. And then this is the map again. So we only did the interior and then did some repairs and stuff, and then went back to orbit. So we did inner first look. We did not figure out vault purpose, I don't think. Yeah, we only did first look. Oh, inner first look we did. Yeah. But we did not do anything past inner first look. So we don't know the vault's purpose. Because precursor vaults are alien, it looks like there's a couple extra spaces between vaults and R. Like the kerning, I mean not kerning, but the justification there is messed up with some extra spaces. Anyhow, they're alien and enigmatic. Understanding their ultimate purpose requires investigation and exploration. Use this table to reveal the vault's original function or role at an appropriate point in your survey. This can come as an outcome of completing an expedition or when your story naturally leads you to a revelation of the site's nature. And I think that I'm definitely going to do that, but what I'm going to do is swear an iron vow to like have a, not an epiphany, but like reach a major research milestone as far as like my understanding of precursor stuff. And so I'll have this overall iron vow that will cover my exploration of multiple precursor sites. So that's going to help that there are 2 precursor sites here. And then interior features, echoing noises, looted empty containers, maze-like passages, signs of invasive creatures. Interior perils like broken paths, mechanical traps, signs of a lurking foe. Interior opportunities include helpful gear left by another explorer, opening to get the drop on a foe, and sanctum features, altered gravity, moving chamber or passage, sealed chamber, sanctum peril, lost the way or separated from others or snared in an unnatural trap. Sanctum opportunities include deeper insight into the history or nature of the site. Foes stand down or give way. Location themes. Chaotic, fortified, haunted, infested, inhabited, ruin, or sacred. And that's definitely delve-like. You will typically choose a theme which supports what you know of that location's nature. If you want a random theme, roll on the table above. Exploring themed locations. It feels like that location theme table should have happened after that. But I suppose it's on facing pages, but they should have been reversed. The intro of it should have happened before the location themes table. Exploring themed locations. Themes help you envision atmosphere, features, and encounters within an unusual, aberrant, or important location. Wow, so there's precursor vaults, there's derelicts, and there's locations. Themes help you envision atmosphere, features, and encounters within unusual, aberrant, or important locations. You can answer questions about a place using only the tables provided for a theme, such as when delving into an infested cave, or you can pair a theme with other location oracles for more flavor and variety. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this actually Oh, this is an added layer on top of the other stuff. I get it. So a world or a settlement or a derelict or a precursor vault could all have a theme. Right. So haunted grave world, a ruined derelict, a sacred precursor vault, or an inhabited settlement. Each theme on the following pages includes a set of oracles, feature for aspects of the location, peril for complications and hazards, and opportunities for beneficial encounters. When mixing and matching a theme with another set of tables, use the technique described for an oracle array to determine which oracle you will reference for that question or phase of your exploration. Okay. So location chaotic. Features, corrupted, warped, alternate realities, perils, chaos makes a mark on you, opportunity, insight into the source, fortified. So actually, let's just read the highlight. So chaotic, reality is corrupted or warped in this place. Fortified, enemies defend this place against intruders. Haunted, restless spirits are bound to this place. Infested, foul creatures have overrun this place. Inhabited, people have built a community in this place. Ruined, time, disaster, or war have ravaged this place. Feels like ruined fits that orbital precursor vault, and I might think about infested as being true of the planet side. Sacred. The faithful worship inscrutable powers in this place. And then miscellaneous oracles include story complications. This oracle will introduce narrative turns, troubles, and revelations that can be used as an alternative to pay the price table when you encounter a negative outcome or at a crucial moment. In particular, you might use this table after rolling matched 10s on the challenge dice. Oh, so when that very first roll, that very first non-oracle roll, I might have used this. I mean, I figured it out, but I could have used this table. Combat actions. Use this oracle to help inspire an action. Sorry, you have to listen to the cat. Kitty, are you going to stop? Come on. Can I talk over it so you don't have to hear it? Anyhow, use this oracle to help inspire an action for a foe in a fight. When you're not sure what an enemy does next, particularly when they have you in a bad spot, roll on this table and interpret the result as appropriate to the nature of the enemy and your objective. Corner, trap, entangle, fall back, stand off, overrun a position, etc. Anomaly effects. Meddling with alien artifacts and forbidden magic may put you at the mercy of chaos. Use this table to resolve the effects of ancient tech, rituals, and other strange forces. Results on this table may prompt devastating implications, so use it only in rare and dramatic moments. So all sorts of emits radiation, slows or stops time. That's very Numenera kind of stuff, I think. So here's the oracles array, and I think this might be the important part of this next. This particular session. I might create an oracle and then use that later on. So, Starforged oracles offer plenty of options for answering questions and generating locations and encounters. But these options can slow down your gameplay as you consider which table to use for a specific situation. Don't get overwhelmed. You'll soon develop your own preferences. Plus, using established facts and your intuition without needing to ask the oracle will help keep things moving. Or will keep things moving. But if you want to play with all the toys in the oracle toolbox while leaving some of the moment-to-moment decisions in the hand of fate, an oracle array is your answer. And it seems like there might be this is the oh my gosh, my brain just went This is the Mad Libs. This is the Mad Libs. An oracle array is a collection of oracles you assemble to help answer, questions for a specific situation or location. To keep an oracle array, the key, sorry, I'm getting tired, so I'm starting to lose it a little bit. The key to an oracle array is your 6-sided action die. To create an array, you'll assign the values of that die to 2 or more oracle tables. Then you'll need the inspiration for when you need inspiration for a situation or location associated with an array, roll your action die alongside your oracle die. Oh, this is new. That's interesting. This magically transforms your action die into an array die for the purposes of this roll. Check the value of the array die to see which table you'll reference. Here's an example of how it works. Interesting. You've traveled to an orbital outpost and roll a weak hit as you finish an expedition. Per that move, you must suffer a complication at the end of the journey. You aren't sure how to resolve this new trouble, so you consider which oracle table to use for inspiration. The story complication oracle would be a good fit, or you could assign this settlement the inhabited theme and roll on the inhabited peril table. You decide to leave it in the hands of fate with an impromptu oracle array. On a 1 to 4, you'll use the story complication oracle. On a 5 to 6, it'll be an inhabited peril. You roll the 6-sided array die alongside the oracle die, and it comes up a 5, so you check the value of the oracle die against the inhabited peril table. Interesting. Arrays are an optional tool, but provide a method for bringing more variety to an oracle results. A simple ad hoc array can be quickly defined while making an oracle roll. More complex arrays for a site or situation can be documented in your journal or on a note card for repeated use. Mixing and matching oracle tables within an array will arm you with a rich collection of opportunities. For example, exploring the haunted derelict. A 1 on the array die is haunted feature, 2 to 5 is a derelict feature, and a 6 is a descriptor and a focus. And then trouble in the haunted derelict is 1, pay the price table, 2 to 3 is a haunted peril, and 4 to 5 is a derelict peril, and 6 is a story complication. Very interesting. Wow, this is not quite what I thought it was. Filling in the blanks. Arrays are one method for structuring oracle prompts. Another is to construct sentences or phrases with blanks for oracle answers. Creating these Mad Libs, there it is, and interpreting their meaning can be a fun creative exercise. For example, here's an oracle Mad Lib for a sworn quest. I swear to action, a theme of a descriptor focus, located in sector name. I am opposed by character name, a character role who wants to character goal. So this was the thing that I was thinking that I would do. So the utility of these array die is super interesting, and I'm really excited to check that out. But it feels like this might not be exactly the right time, except that I was thinking about using this because I want to use infested plus the destroyed tables, and so I might create an array for these two tools, or these two precursor sites that are sort of the same, and then use that. So I might explore that in between sessions and build out something that I think is going to make sense for that. That's cool. Okay, but let's do this. I'm going to capture this so I have it to reference in front of me, and then we're going to roll. We're going to create this answer. So, action, theme, descriptor, focus, character name, character role, and character goal. So let's do these. Let's do those. Oh, I went too far. Okay, so oracles. So action. So our first one is going to be an action. And that's going to be a 19. So our action is change. And our theme... sorry, actually, hold on. Here, let's let you see. So on the action table, it was 19, which is change. And then we're going to go to our theme table, and we're going to roll. And we get a 16, which is culture. And then we're going to go to a description, or descriptor, and we're going to roll for that. And that's 25, which is created. And then we go to focus, and our roll is going to be 53. Network. Oh, interesting. Okay. And then we're going to character name. Oh, wait. Located in sector name. Okay, I need to do sector name first. So our sector name is 34 is Essus. And 11 is channel, Essus channel. Okay. And then we want a character name. Character name. Okay, so let's roll our character name is 59. 59. Kylar. And then we'll roll again. Is 9. Kylar Kosa. Hosla. And then call sign is 33. Failsafe. Okay. And then we're going to do character roll. So let's see. 75 is scavenger. And then character goal is 23. Defend a place. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to this matrix. Where is it? Okay, here we go. So I swear to change a culture. I swear to change the culture of a created network in SS channel. I am opposed by Kyler Kosa, failsafe, a scavenger who wants to defend a place. Very interesting. That created network really sounds like that social networky kind of idea that I was having previously. Oh, man. Okay, well, so let me read that again. And then in between sessions, if you're watching this video, I guess on YouTube, put in the comments what you think of this, if you have any ideas related to this, and then I'll be thinking about it as well. But this is definitely something, probably not for the next adventure, so there may be a little while before we get to it because it's in another sector. But this is a big deal. This is really interesting. So I swear to change the culture of a created network in SS channel. I am opposed by Kyler Failsafe Kosa Khosla, who a scavenger who wants to defend a place. So it feels like this created network, like this social, like there's a bulletin board or a group or something like that, a private group that this person is defending or something. Could be very interesting, very non-real world. I think this is a chance to hack the matrix and kind of be in a social network and find out what that means in this particular, like Firefly had the sending waves, which inspired the terminology for Google Plus. Yeah, so that's very interesting. So we have that to consider. And what is this called? Constructs blank with blanks for Oracle Madlib. Okay. And then I guess, I mean, what other sort of oracular Mad Libs might you come up with? There's probably a whole bunch in the in the Discord for Ironsworn, but I don't really hang out in Discord anymore, so I won't see them. But I'd be interested. I'm sure people are working on different Mad Libs, and I might try and come up with a new one, just for the heck of it, and see what we come up with. Yeah. So anyhow. Thanks for hanging out. The kitties are circling like sharks, so I think I'm gonna. Yes, hi, Ringa. So I think I'm gonna feed them, and so that they don't hunt me down and kill me in my sleep. And I will see you next time. Thanks so much for hanging out, and yeah, bye.